Ladies and gentlemen, from Detroit, Michigan, the world's light-duty truck capital, this is Target Trucks 1987. Here's Jordan Rose.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Very nice. Welcome to Target Trucks. Now today we're going to take a look at the most extensive lineup of trucks that you have to offer. The 1987 Chevrolet cargo haulers. Now these are the trucks that people and businesses count on to move anything from flowers to furniture, because cargo can be anything from, a small package right on up to lumber and steel. Now that's why there's so many varieties of cargo haulers, like these vans. Now this Astro, used for carpet cleaning. This full-size Chevy van, used by a florist. This High Cube, owned by a moving company. Step van, used by an office furniture and supplies company. And that's just part of the story. There are chassis cabs, like this S10 stake bed. This full-size contractor's body that's been outfitted for some special uses. Medium duties, like this stake bed and this flat bed, for the really biggest cargo hauling needs. Now, most people, that's just a sampling, by the way, of what you have to offer. Most people that buy medium and light-duty cargo haulers, they're business people. They're interested in how these trucks will produce for them, how hard they'll work, how long they'll last, and as business people, they're also interested in price. Now, I've got to tell you, there's a lot more to a cargo hauler than just how much it costs to drive it out the door. A lot of these people, they never drive these trucks themselves, but their employees do. Now, the performance and the functional design of the truck, that can affect how efficiently these employees will do their jobs. Now, the design of the truck should make the driver's job easier. It should speed the process, not slow it down, because that can have an impact on the bottom line. Now, when you're selling a cargo hauler, try and sell it from the business person's point of view. Tell them about the value in it. Now, what's the best way to see the value? To see one of these trucks on the job. So earlier today, we sent our camera crews out with 3 Chevy cargo haulers that are owned by local businesses, and these trucks are actually on the job. The drivers that we're going to see are the drivers that work with these trucks day in and day out. Let's take a look.
Jordan, I'm here at Stationers Wholesale, where Specs Office Supply gets merchandise for delivery to their retail customers. Ken, the driver, has just backed the Astro cargo van into the loading area to pick up a sizable load for today's run.
Now, this is what I mean when I say a truck should be properly designed. Astro is the compact for cargo hauling. Now, most compacts feature this awkward rear lift gate. You'll notice here that the Astro has rear swing-out doors that open almost a full 180 degrees for easy access inside. It also has an unobstructed flat-ribbed load floor, which makes it easier to slide the cargo in and out. And inside there's over 4 feet between the rear wheel housings. Now, the rear step bumper, which is standard, features a tread strip for sure footing. Now, that bumper also makes it easier for the driver to reach inside, where there's room for almost 190 cubic feet of cargo. Now, you're going to see in just a minute when he starts to close up these rear swing doors that Astro's doors are a one-handed operation. Now, Astro features rear-wheel drive. That's one of the reasons it can carry up to a net payload of 1,700 pounds and can tow up to 5,000 pounds when properly equipped. Now, you may have noticed that there wasn't a spare tire to get in the driver's way back there. That's because Astro has an underbody spare tire carrier. Now, that's an option that's a solid investment for anybody that's buying this truck and using it to haul cargo. Now, another available option is the 27-gallon fuel tank, which is the largest of any compact. Now, that extended fuel range means that this van can spend less time on the gasoline lines and more time making deliveries. That's important to a buyer. Point it out to him. That's a good time to talk about engines. In 1987, standard on all the light-duty V6 and V8 gasoline engines is electronic fuel injection. Big benefit to your buyers. That's something else you can point out to them. Now, this year, Astro, Chevy vans, and High Cubes with gasoline engines have the serpentine belt. Now, remember that we cover the serpentine belt and electronic fuel injection on our work pickups program. Now, I'd like to take a minute, if I can here, and review the Chevy cargo haulers with you and try and see if I can give you some insight into what you have to sell. All right, first, there's the Astro. Now, that's the most compact of the Chevy cargo haulers, is the Astro. Yet, it features a net payload of up to 1,700 pounds, and it'll carry almost 190 cubic feet of cargo. And we've just seen that it's better designed for hauling cargo than most other compacts on the market. Next, we come to the full-size Chevy vans. Now, they're available in 3 series and gross payload ranges. Over 1 ton in the 10 and 20 series, and over 2 tons in the 30 series. With up to 260 cubic feet of cargo space, this truck's very popular with people that have to haul a little larger load. Now, high cube. This is the perfect in-between choice for people that need a little more room than you have in a full-size Chevy van, but less room than you have in, like, say, a step van or medium duty. And it has a payload rating up to 4,732 pounds. Now, put this little baby up there. Step van. This is the largest light-duty cargo hauler in the Chevy lineup. It has almost 890 cubic feet of cargo space. It has payload ratings up to 8,479 pounds. Now, the step vans are specially designed for businesses with a lot of frequent stops and door-to-door deliveries, like linen services, florists. The seat sits high so the driver can get in and out very easily, and he has lots of walk-through height so he won't bump his head when he's moving around back there. Now, finally, a full range of medium duties. Now, these are for your the biggest cargo hauling needs, with a gross vehicle weight rating up to 50,000 pounds in the tandem axle 70 series. Now, that's over 25 tons of vehicle and freight. These trucks are used for the really largest and heaviest construction materials and some very special cargo hauling needs. Now, earlier today when our camera crew was out, we had them take a look at one of the newest medium duties, a Tiltmaster. Let's go down and take a look at it.
Jordan, we're here with the Chevy Tiltmaster outside of PartsMart. It's a mobile homes parts distributor. Now, Steve, the driver, is getting ready to roll, but first of all, he's going to check the oil and the coolant level. You can see how the Tiltmaster got its name. Let's bring the camera around here so we can get a better look at what Steve's doing.
Okay, I think you can see here how easy it is to work on the Tiltmaster. You can check your engine and your oil coolants, you can check your belts and your hoses, and you can do all of that without having to climb back up in your engine compartment like you have to do that on most other medium duties. Now, you're going to see here how easy it is to lock that cab back into position and get on the road. Here he goes. A little flick there. There it is, got it locked into position. Now, that's the W4 Tiltmaster. It has a gross vehicle weight rating of up to 11,000 pounds. Now, there's also a W7 and a W7 heavy duty, which has the same basic cab design. Now, the heavy-duty model has a gross vehicle weight rating up to 33,000 pounds. Now, we'll come back to the Tiltmaster in just a few minutes. But first, I want to take a look at a very special vehicle, a high cube. Now, a high cube basically is a Chevy van cab with a large van body mounted behind the cab area. Now, as I had mentioned earlier, these trucks serve some very special uses, and many, like the one we're going to look at, does more than just haul cargo.
Our Suburban Glass crew is just arriving at this location. They're here to replace a glass panel. Now, the size of the high cube allows Mike and Tony to utilize the back of the truck as a workstation on wheels. In fact, why don't we have the camera come on in, take a closer look at the size available.
Okay, now interior room, that's one of the largest selling features with a high cube. It's available in 10 and 12-foot bodies with up to 570 cubic feet of cargo or workspace. And it comes in low-cost steel or lightweight aluminum. Now, you can see here how unobstructed the walk-through area is and how easy it is for that worker to move around back there. Now, this particular truck has a rear overhead door. Standard on these trucks are the rear swing-out doors. Now, many buyers will outfit these high cubes with the racks and the bins like we see here on the left and the right in that truck. Now, you'll notice when he's coming out, this worker, that the rear step bumper features a full-width tread plate for sure footing for going in and out. Now, the high cube does not have to be used as a workstation. With gross vehicle weight ratings up to 10,500 pounds, it's an excellent truck for a lot of cargo hauling needs, things like appliances, light delivery, and more. Now, a cargo hauler does not have to come up short on creature comforts just because it's a work truck. Interior conveniences are very important for a driver that, well, he spends the better part of his day out there on the road. Let's take a look now and see what our camera crew discovered inside the Tiltmaster, huh?
Jordan, we're here at Today's Homes. They're a mobile home dealer. Steve's inside finishing a little paperwork. I've had a chance to look at the inside of this truck. I'd like to point out a few things to you. Well, first we've got a windshield washer reservoir in the door. Brake fluid fills up here. Handle to get into the truck. Got an adjustable column here. Seat tilts back and forth. Lumbar support. Even have a roof vent up here. Yep. Steve's in now. I got to get out of the way. That's all from here, Jordan.
Okay, now medium duties like the Tiltmaster are often used on long hauls, and those are the kinds of features that make that driver's job just a little easier on a long run. Notice here how the cab sits over the axle, directly over the axle. There's no overhang. The design of the Tiltmaster was done for a reason, maneuverability. Now you see that was very tight, and you can see just how maneuverable that design makes that truck. In fact, the Tiltmaster is the most maneuverable of the medium-duty cargo haulers. The short wheelbase model has a turning diameter of about 44 feet. Now that's just about the same as a Dodge Caravan. Very impressive for a truck that can carry the loads that Tiltmaster can carry. Now before we run out of time here, I want to stress that I'm just not going to be able to cover everything that you need to know about selling Chevy cargo haulers in this program. But in addition to selling the product features, it's absolutely critical that you pay attention with these trucks, that you pay attention to details. Components like the proper springs, axles, tires, interior cargo capacity, payloads. All of that has to be matched to the specific needs of the buyer. Now, where do you get that information? In your Chevy Truck Facts book has it all neatly laid out for you. Qualify your customers. I mean, you're going to be hearing that a lot in these programs, but it's important. Qualify your customers. Find out what his specific needs are as it relates to how much room and weight capacity. Now, once you've got that information, you can go to this book and it'll show you how to properly equip that truck. Now, if you're unfamiliar with terms like gross vehicle weight ratings, turn to your Truck Selections Considerations tab or go to your Truck Basics programs and it'll help you get started. Now, I think most of you will have to agree. Will you hold that for me? Thank you. I think most of you will have to agree that Chevrolet offers the widest choice of cargo haulers around. And each vehicle is designed to do a particular job better than most any other truck. Now, with the addition of the newer models of the Astro and the Tiltmaster, you've got the trucks to keep cargo hauling businesses running smoothly. Anything from a light delivery package to a heavy load to anything in between. You've got the trucks to keep businesses rolling. Thank you.
On the road they're going, those Chevy trucks keep rolling with pride. Through any kind of weather, no truck can haul it better. Dependable to keep you riding stride. Move 'em in, load 'em up, stack 'em high, move 'em out. Trucking with Chevy pride. Get 'em in, take a look, spec 'em out, load 'em up. Trucking with Chevy pride. Rolling.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the light-duty truck capital of America, this is Target Trucks 87 with your host, Jordan Rose.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Very nice. Welcome to Target Trucks. Now, in today's show, we're going to be looking at the newest, most exciting group of people buying trucks today, the personal use buyers. These people buy a lot of trucks. I like this man. Now, he's had trucks for years because they suit his personal lifestyle. But on the other hand, this lady, she never even thought about buying a truck until about a year ago. Same thing with this family. They never considered a truck until just recently. Now, these are your personal use buyers. Let's take a look at the trucks they're buying. Now, for him, it's a Silverado fleet side, two-tone paint, air conditioning, power door locks. Now, for this lady, she bought the Blazer with the Tahoe package, rear window defogger, tilt wheel, and speed control. Now, this family, they took the Astro with the CL trim, and they ordered the bucket seats, front and in the center, top-of-the-line sound system. Now, as far as their lifestyles and their jobs go, these people could be driving passenger cars. In fact, many of them were until just recently. But now they're all driving Chevy trucks. Why? Well, I've got one reason here. Because underneath all of that power windows and power door locks and the tilt wheel and the fancy stereo system, the fancy paint and the chrome wheels is this. Now, this is part of a proven heritage of tough Chevy trucks. Now, these trucks, people in this country, they've been leaning on these trucks for nearly 7 decades. tough, durable trucks that do the job year in and year out. Trucks like this that help build this country. Now, there are a lot of reasons why 94% of all Chevy trucks sold in the last 10 years are still on the road today. And I've covered those reasons in other programs. But today we're going to talk about your up-level, your upscale personal buyer and the kind of trucks they're buying. Now, they want the basic value in this no-nonsense road warrior here, but they want it to look like this thoroughbred. Two-tone paint, chrome wheels, power steering, power brakes, stereo system inside. The personal used truck buyer today demands a lot. He wants his truck to look really good on the outside, and he wants a lot of comfort inside. But also underneath all that, they want that Chevy truck toughness. Now, what does toughness mean to them? It means durability, dependability, confidence, security. Now, you may think that I'm trying to tell you that a truck is the best of both worlds. Well, I'm not even going to tell you that. I'm going to prove it to you, okay? Now, most buyers that come into your showroom today, they're old enough to remember that old saying, it drives like a truck. Well, you don't hardly hear that phrase anymore. And to tell us why, we've invited down a General Motors truck engineer, and I want you to help me give him a nice warm welcome, Mr. Harold Western.
Hello,
Hi,
George.
Harold. Hi, nice to see you.
Nice to be here.
Okay. Now, Harold, I want you to give me some ammunition, if it were, I can't think of a better word, for our viewers here in the audience and for our viewers around all the dealerships, and tell us so they can go out and sell the ride in these Chevy trucks. But first I want to ask you a question. It's a loaded question. Do you think that Chevy trucks ride better than other trucks?
Absolutely yes, Jordan.
I knew he was going to say that. Okay, I told you it was a loaded question. Harold, if you'll follow me on down here now, I've got a chassis, and I'd like for you to just tell us why a Chevy truck rides better than other trucks.
I'd be glad to. Jordan, we're looking at a Chevy independent front suspension in a full-size pickup truck chassis. It's important to understand also that when we talk about independent front suspension, we're really describing two suspensions, a left suspension and a right suspension.
Okay.
There are no rods, axles, or springs connecting the two sides, and therefore there's no chance for unwanted vibration to be transmitted from one side to the other. There's no crosstalk, and this is important to good ride quality.
Okay, now crosstalk, that would mean that this wheel wouldn't tell that wheel that it just ran in a pothole.
Exactly right.
Okay.
Next, I'd like to point out that an independent front suspension is really linkage, which consists of an upper control arm and a lower control arm attached on one side to the frame through road isolating bushings. And on the other side, it's attached to the steering knuckle through ball joints. The steering knuckle, in turn, supports the wheel and the tire. This is important to the designer because it allows for very precise control of the wheel during jounce and rebound of the suspension, which leads to the best ride and handling possible. Finally, I'd like to point out the location of the coil spring.
Okay, the red spring now.
That's right, and the shock absorber in the independent front suspension design. It's as outboard as far as possible, close to the wheel. And this allows for the best management of the forces in the suspension, which gives firm ride control while allowing us to design in the softest possible ride for the passengers. So all these things taken together explain why the Chevy independent front suspension produces the outstanding ride and handling qualities of our vehicles.
Okay. Now, Harold, is the front independent suspension, is that on all Chevy trucks?
Just about. All two-wheel drive Chevys and S-Truck 4x4s have independent front suspensions.
Okay, now that front suspension, so that I'll just do a little thing here, that would be kind of like a cat going across the ground, right? His paws moving up and down.
Absolutely, that's a good analogy.
Okay, terrific. Now, how about the suspension in the rear? What can you tell me about that?
In the rear, almost every Chevy truck uses variable rate leaf springs. And since the people we're talking about here often drive around with little or no weight in the rear, these springs help to keep the truck riding well even when it's empty.
Okay. Well, that's terrific. Look, I really appreciate you coming down, giving us a demonstration, and giving us your time. And I want to thank you very much for it.
My pleasure.
Okay.
Glad to be here.
Let's have a nice hand for Harold Western. It's terrific. Okay. All right. Now, let's see. We've got the ride and the handling of a passenger car, and we've got the toughness and the durability of a truck. Now, that to me seems like it's a powerful combination, and that's one of the reasons why so many of these personal use buyers are buying these trucks. But there's another reason. Performance. And boy, for 1987, do you have a story to tell? Now standard on all light-duty V6 and V8 gasoline engines is electronic fuel injection. Now that's a terrific benefit to your buyers. Tell them about that. The electronic fuel injection. Let's look at some of the benefits. Okay, faster cold starts. Automatically adjust to the variances in temperature and altitude. And you get better power and better fuel efficiency. Now the electronic fuel injection, that's kind of like having a mechanic under the hood. Two other features, simplicity and ease of service. Now I've got a little demonstration set up here, and I'd like to just move over here if I can and show you this throttle body. Now this is the throttle body from the electronic fuel injection. These two injectors here, they act like little nozzles. They send the proper amount of fuel and air down into the engine. Now this has 36 mechanical parts. This particular throttle body is off of a 5-liter V8 engine. Now you might be able to see there's no choke, no idle screws. Okay, now let's take a look at a carburetor that's off of a similar engine. Look at this. This thing has over 85 mechanical parts. Take my word for it. Now when you go in, your service technician will tell you that to diagnose and repair a problem, it can be kind of tricky. Now you tell your customers that electronic fuel injection, has less maintenance, easier serviceability, smoother operation, and more power. Tell them about it. And use your 1987 Chevy Trucks Target Selling Guide to find out all the details. Now, as far as engine selections and power team combinations, you can find that out in your Chevy Truck Facts book. Okay, now let's go for just a minute now and take a look at some of these personal use vehicles and look at some of the distinctive features that set them apart from most other vehicles.
Astro's great for work or play, a family favorite, we're proud to say. It's practical, fun, and easy to drive. Astro's here and it's coming alive. Hauls your family and cargo too. Our S10 pickup, we want you to know, is compact and sporty for people on the go. A maxi cab that holds up to 4 or fold up the jump seat for cargo and more. 2 or 4-wheel drive, what a pleasure. For popularity, Blazer beats them all. Forget your wagons, this truck is a ball. On the road, off the road, Blazer don't care. Anywhere you gotta go, it'll get you there. Easy. Women love it. The most luxurious pickup available today is El Camino from Chevrolet. Elegant, sporty, works hard too. A personal pickup just right for you. You gotta see this one. Do we have a sport fan? Yes, indeed. It's roomy and plush, got everything you need. Seats up to 12 and luxury. This fan is terrific. Just look and see. Smooth riding, handles easy. Suburban, a maxi wagon built for today. For 50 years it's been that way. A living room interior, seats up to 9. Stretch out, relax, the riding's just fine. RV lovers choose it hands down.
Oh, those are some very special vehicles, huh? Let's hear it. That's terrific. In fact, you might say that each one is just, well, it's unique in its own way. Now also, every one of those vehicles, they can be personalized to the individual needs of each buyer. Now I'll tell you, when someone comes in today into your showroom to buy a truck, they're going to be absolutely amazed at the amount of choices that are available. Let's talk about wheels for a minute. Now this is the basic no-nonsense look of a truck wheel. Now unfortunately, a lot of people still think that that's the way they all look. That's not true anymore. Look at this selection we've got here. Now this is a rally wheel off of an Astro. And over here we've got a sharp cast aluminum wheel off of an S10 Blazer. Then we've got a sporty cast aluminum wheel off of a full-size Chevy pickup. Now trucks have changed a lot in the past few years. I mean, now they're sharp looking on the outside, they got tremendous features inside, and there's so much choices. There's a lot of choices to pick from. I want to show you something here if I can. Jim, can you get me a shot of this? Now this is a picture of an instrument panel. If you want to look at it on the monitors up there, off of a truck, over 20 years old. Kind of reminds me of my old Apache. Well, instrument panels on trucks haven't looked like that in years, but a lot of people still think they do. Now look at this instrument panel. Now this didn't come off of a sports car. This came off of an S10. Now look at this. Advanced speedometer design, controls for your lights, air conditioning, heating, all within easy reach. Now these are terrific features to tell your customers about there. They really are. Point these things out to them. Now if I can, I'm going to just turn this around a minute. Jim, if you can get right in here. I'll stand back out of the way. Now this vent, what it does is it demists the side window so that you can see out of the rear view mirror here on the outside on a cold or a rainy day. Now there's something else here. I like this. This is a smart switch, like that. It's got high beam, turn signals. It's got your intermittent windshield wipers on here, and also you can put your speed control on there. It's an optional speed control that goes there. Now again, these are terrific features to tell your customers about. Now let's pull this back around, Nancy. I'll get this lined up for you here if I can. Okay, now, you're kind of tall, you got long legs like me. Look at that. Hop right in here. Tilt wheel, comfort tilt wheel, 6 different positions. Now the radio, in this particular instrument panel here, it's an optional GM Delco. AM, FM, stereo, cassette player, seek, scan, graphic, equalizers. Look at this. Perfect song. Electronic tuning, sound system. 4 speakers. We didn't plan that way. Surround sound. Now, these are features that have been in passenger cars and common to passenger cars for years. But trucks are very special vehicles, and you can get a lot of features on these trucks that you just can't get on any other type of vehicle. Things like the seating in this Astro. Now, these seats can be removed, rearranged. They can be folded down for more load space, to make a table. The sport van, it's got an optional fold-down bed that stretches out to over 6 feet. The Suburban, the rear bench seats fold down flat for more load space. That's also available in the S10. This is the easy entry feature available on S10 Maxi Cab, S10 Blazer. You just tilt that seat forward, and it slides forward also for easy access into the back. And then on this S10 Maxi Cab, you've got these optional jump seats, and they fold up flat into the sidewalls when they're not in use. Now, folks, that's seating versatility, and that's only available on a truck. Now, today, trucks are still just as tough as nails underneath the skin, but outside and inside, they're all just sharp and sophisticated. Now, there's one other thing that I want to talk about here before we run out of time on this program. I know I've been coming on kind of strong about trucks. Well, I like trucks, but I don't want to give you the impression that I don't like passenger cars. There's some terrific passenger cars out there, and as a matter of fact, Chevrolet happens to lead the world in sales of that type of vehicle, and for darn good reasons. Now, some people would have you believe that this is the way that I view the world. Well, folks, that's just not really true. It's not really true. I think trucks are kind of neat. But trucks are rolling. And if I were you, I would catch the wave and target trucks in 1987. Thank you very much.
Rolling, 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 all over town you're going. Chevy Trucks keep rolling with pride. Comfort, style, and durability to fit your personality. You'll find you just can't wait to get inside. Drive 'em up, deck 'em out, shine 'em up, take 'em out. Trucking with Chevy pride. Come on in, spec 'em out, take a look, try 'em out. Trucking with Chevy pride.